everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Zahra. I'm so happy to have you here. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I have just been in a wormhole of true crime and murder mysteries and things like that, and I've just been watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially Bailey Sarian. I will link her channel if you guys haven't seen her before. She makes amazing content. She kind of just does her makeup and talks about murder mysteries, true crime, things like that. Today I wanted to talk about a serial killer. So I did do a lot of research. I will have some of the articles and stuff that I looked at down below. All of the makeup that I end up using I will have linked in the description box below, so make sure you guys check that out if you're interested in the makeup. But without further ado, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about Shawn Michael Grate. He was born in August 8th, 1976, to his mother Teresa McFarland and his father Terry Grate. His parents did end up getting a divorce when he was about 6 years old. After the divorce, his mom ended up getting full custody, but then later on it transferred over to the dad getting full custody. But Shawn did end up living with his mom until he was about 18 years old. I did try to find out what his childhood was and his upbringing was like, but I couldn't really find anything on that. I feel like the story and everything that I found started when he was about in high school, so that is where we're going to start off. So in high school he had this friend, her name was Amy Smith, and they were pretty close. Anytime Amy needed something, she would go to Shawn and he would just listen to her and talk to her, and he was just like her go-to person. So she knew him pretty well. She did say that she noticed a few things were off about him, like he would lose interest in things, he would have erratic behavior, and he would have really depressive bouts. Shawn did start to show signs of aggression in his late teens. He would be very verbally and physically and I guess mentally abusive to the women he was dating. There were a few incidents of domestic abuse, but as far as I saw, I didn't really see any record of Shawn going to juvie. But he graduated his high school in 1995, and a few weeks after he turned 18, he committed a burglary and ended up going to jail. So he was sentenced to 4 years in prison, although he received early release 7 months later. By the time he was 22, this is now 1999, he was dating this girl, and she was 17 years old. She was pregnant with his child. This girl went to the police and told them that Shawn choked her until she almost passed out. Shawn did end up going to jail, but he spent less than a month in jail for that incident, and the girl's family ended up filing a restraining order against Shawn, but then the girl asked for that to be dropped because I guess they wanted to get back together. About a month after the child was born, Shawn decided to approach the baby's mom, that 17-year-old girl, and he pulled out a butcher knife and was trying to threaten her. It did end up getting a little bit physical. She got hurt, but yeah, his girlfriend ended up getting a severe cut to her finger, and Shawn was sent to prison for another 4 years, and his early release was revoked. So by this time he's been in prison for like in and out a lot. So now fast forward a few years, he gets out of prison in January 2003. A few months after Shawn got out of jail, the girl that had his second child, that girl that was 17, she went to the police. She claimed that Shawn choked her and forced her to perform sexual acts. Shawn was charged with misdemeanor domestic violence, and he was sent back to jail for another 7 months. He was released in May 2004, and for the next few years he kind of kept things pretty calm. He didn't really get into that much trouble. He didn't go to jail again. Shawn ends up meeting a woman named Christina Hildreth. They were together for 5 years, and she said that he was mentally abusive. In 2010, she was assaulted repeatedly by Shawn, and she had blows to the face, and she was grabbed by the throat. So it was pretty brutal. Her hand got fractured because she was trying to block his punches, and then she kind of begged him to go to the emergency room. So they went to the emergency room, and she initially told the nurses that she had fallen. And when Shawn got out of the room, she told the nurses what actually happened. They called the police, but by the time the police got there, Shawn had fled the scene. But he was caught 4 days later in Christina's couch. I don't know why he was in the couch, but that's where they found him. And he was sentenced to 180 days in jail for first-degree misdemeanor domestic violence. Shortly after this, he met a woman named Amber. They ended up getting married, but the marriage didn't last very long. It was just less than a year. It was said that Shawn was a really charming guy. He was really kind. He never struggled with finding girlfriends. And he seemed like a safe person to be around. People just felt comfortable to be with him until he decided to show his other side. On September 13th, 2016, at 6:48 a.m., there was a 911 call made from Ashland. She goes on to tell the 911 operator that she has been kidnapped, and she said that Shawn Grate is the person who kidnapped her. So they send the police over. This 911 call is so chilling. Like, this woman is so strong. I'm going to insert a few clips of it right now.
911, what is the address to your emergency?
4th Street Laundromat.
What is it?
4th Street Laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
Who abducted you?
Shawn Grate.
Where's he at now?
Asleep.
Where's he sleeping at?
In the bedroom. I'm in the bedroom with them. Please hurry.
Does he have a weapon?
He's got a taser.
Is there any way you can get out of the building?
I don't know without waking him, and I'm scared.
Is there a bathroom in the house?
Well, his bedroom is closed, and he made it so it would make noise.
And if you told him you had to go to the bathroom, he would do something to you?
Yeah, because he had me tied up.
Are you tied up now?
Well, yeah, but I kind of freed myself.
Is it his phone you have?
Yeah. Are they on the way?
Yeah, we have officers we're sending.
Please send them up.
Are you bleeding from anywhere?
Not anymore.
Where were you bleeding from? You don't have to talk if you don't need to, okay? Do you know where he lives?
No. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I woke him up.
Just set the phone down.
How much longer?
You what?
How much longer?
Do you hear any officers outside?
No.
Okay, they're in the area.
Come on out. Hurry up. Get out here. Where is he?
Bedroom sleeping.
The police come in and they save this poor woman from Shawn. Shawn denied that he was going to kill her. He said that he was planning to marry her. So they arrest Shawn, and once he's in police custody, they do a thorough search of his home or wherever he was staying with that lady. She's unidentified because for her privacy and everything, so they never released her name, but she thankfully did make it out alive, and because of her, they ended up finding all these other victims. The police officers did end up finding 2 bodies in that home. They found a 29-year-old Elizabeth Griffin. She went missing in August 2016, and they also found a 43-year-old woman. Her name was Stacy Stanley, and she went out for coffee and never came back. So both of these women were kidnapped by Shawn, and they were strangled to death. That day that he was caught, he led the police to a 3rd body. This one was of a 29-year-old woman named Candace Marie Cunningham. and she was buried in the woods behind the house. He said that he killed her in June of 2015, and her family never filed a missing persons report because they thought that she'd moved to North Carolina. So her family didn't even know that she was killed. And as they took Shawn in, interviewed him, he did confess to a few other murders. He said that his first victim was a 26-year-old woman named Dana Lowry, and she had sold his mother a magazine and she didn't end up delivering it. And Shawn got really mad that she lied, and so he lured her into his car, and then he took her into the basement and stabbed her and killed her. And so he says that that was the first person that he killed. And then he said that he also killed a 31-year-old. Her name was Rebecca Lacey. She was another one of his victims. Her death was originally ruled a overdose, but Shawn did say that he killed her because she stole $4 from him. $4. I just don't understand what goes on in their heads. Like, that's crazy. She stole $4 and he killed her because of it. Shawn was indicted on 23 counts, all first, second, and third degree felonies. Shawn's attorney later filed a plea for not guilty by reason of insanity, which I feel like that happens in like almost all of these cases. But on January 6th, 2017, a competency hearing determined Grate is fit to stand trial. On May 2018, Shawn pled guilty to 15 of the charges against him. On May 7th, 2018, Shawn was found guilty of murdering Stacey Stanley and Elizabeth Griffith. On June 1st, Grate was sentenced to death. An initial execution date was set for September 13th, 2018, but the execution ended up being held up, so he didn't end up getting killed by the death penalty in 2018. Shawn gave like everything away to the press. He told them everything, and because of that, attorneys for the defense and prosecution jointly requested and obtained a gag order preventing Shawn from communicating any further with the media. On March 1st, 2019, he pled guilty to the murders of Rebecca Lacey and Candace Cunningham, and he was sentenced to life in prison without parole and 17 years to life for the other charges, with the sentence running consecutively. And then just recently, like 5 days ago, on December 10th, 2020, it was reported that Shawn lost his appeal against the death sentence, with the Ohio Supreme Court upholding the sentence by stating there is no mitigation or reversible error. This is hard to do with when you're trying to put on lipstick. In Grate's case, on the grounds of dismissing the appeal. So basically he tried to avoid the death sentence, but they said no, like, you are getting the death sentence because he did some really terrible things. In the research that I did, they said that Shawn would go after kind women because he thought that that made them vulnerable, which is disgusting. Like, they were just being nice and he decided to take advantage of it and kill them. So that is basically the story of Shawn Grate. So they are still going to kill him, but they didn't set a date for when they're going to kill him. He ended up murdering 5 people, or at least that's what he's confessed to, and that's what detectives believe, is that he's killed 5 people. All of them were women. He did try to use the insanity card, but they said that he was fine. He knew when he was killing them that it was the wrong thing to do. Something that I wonder is what goes on through their minds. Like, I don't know, like, I can't even kill a bug without feeling a little bit guilty. Like, how do these people, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand what goes on in their heads. If this one girl didn't end up escaping, so many of these murders that he's committed would have gone unsolved, and who knows how many more people he would have killed, like how many more victims he would have had. So I'm so glad that at least that lady made it out alive and she was able to get justice for herself and for his other victims. Again, I will have some of the articles I used for my research. I will have that linked down below. I will have all the makeup products I used linked down below. That was basically it for the Shawn Grate case. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you guys stay safe and don't make any dumb decisions. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!